Go for it.
Good evening, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen and cats, kittens and puppies. Welcome back. This is it. It's the Grand Kahuna. Beach Tech, one game under his belt, up against Adastam from APG. One game under his. And it's SF versus SF for the Arcana set of this 1v1 challenge on Facebook, all organized by Succubus and proudly sponsored by HELLBIRD. The both of them are here with us tonight.
Well, hello.
It's so Storm Spirit. Like, it's amazing.
Storm
If the guy...
All right, that's it. This whole cast is going to be in a Storm Spirit voice.
But do it without becoming... Because, I mean, here's the catch about doing that, right? You need to do it in such a manner that you do not say everything long-windedly, right? But at the same time, you have to not... I don't know, just revert into Italian. I don't know why, but Storm Spirit just becomes an Italian Mario to me when I try to speak quickly with them.
But why don't you speak with Italian accent? If I'm not mistaken, you're actually Italian, aren't you?
I feel that we may have discussed this at length. Yes, I am. I'm Italian, as are you, believe it or not. It's almost like this is an Italian broadcast now.
I know I have a face for radio. Nonetheless, same item builds, exactly the same item builds for both Shadow Fiends, and we're both seeing Necromastery on both of the players yet again. So this is a bit of a mirror match. This is a little bit uncharacteristic of the tournament so far, as we have had SF versus SF mid many occasions, and sometimes we've seen them opt for the Shadow Rays first level.
Yeah, well, they tend to do the same skill build on average with SF. It's, you know, I haven't really seen much of a difference. The only things I've seen differ is item choices, but in this case, it's exactly the same. So each player having exactly the same amount of advantage. But I must say, Beach Tech's blocking was a little bit better than Adastam's this time around.
So what's interesting about this, though, is you can see the positioning here is just way, way better from Beach Tech at the moment. He's managed to pull the creeps all the way onto the top of his lane. But what's really good about how he's controlled this lane as well is that Adastam, being an intelligent player, actually also tried to pull the creep wave back down by right-clicking the hero. And his response was immediately to do the exact same thing, which just meant that the creeps once again followed him. So this is actually a really good example for people who might be a little bit newer and want to understand like the art of solo mid. The way that the creeps are dancing around is really, really important. And at the moment, Beach Tech is just doing it better.
Well, do you think you can get a little bit more elementary than that? Oh, Beach Tech picking up not one, not two, but possibly three. No, not the third.
He didn't pick up the third, but what he did pick up was a bit much of the creep aggro, and he might actually go down here if he's not careful. He took way too much creep aggro there, being a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he was just trying to, because we were just discussing keeping the creep wave in the right position.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because it's exactly the point that I was trying to make, is that when you're in that position, that Adastam found himself in naturally because of the way the creeps had pushed back onto his own tower, right? And Beach Tech was like, cool, now I need to correct this, and he started trying to correct it, and he showed exactly why you don't want to be in that position, because obviously Adastam could then just unload on him as he walked up the cliff. And it was almost like interesting because you would, well, this could be interesting.
This is a mirror match, but Beach Tech is a little bit lower than Adastam. Adastam might be going in for the kill. Oh, a turnaround. Shadow Rays is going to tell him to bugger on off. And that should be the end of that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Adastam didn't have the mana to do that last little raise. That could have potentially been the end of Beach Tech there.
Yeah, this is hard to call. I mean, we can agree that Beach Tech at the moment is behind on last hits and whatnot, but he's had his moments, you know. So in this sort of hostile environment, it can just go either way. And you saw how quick it was when they started exchanging blows. It was almost a little bit of holding your nerve and whatnot. And we saw that I think Adastam actually held his nerve slightly better because of the pattern in which Beach Tech actually moved.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, the same thing can be reversed. But right now, Beach Tech needs to get this bottle over to him. I think it's on its way already, but he can't actually fight right now. And Adastam knows it, so he's just shooting off the high ground. This is my lane now, he says, as he sends his opponent back to the confines of his
Adam's
tower.
bottle's on the way as well. So I mean, both players, you know, kind of on the same amount of farm and stuff like that. I mean, it's literally like a 4 creep difference, so it's not that bad.
But in terms of experience, there is a slight tilt towards good old Adastam there.
Yeah, it's just
Not
because
by very much.
he got left alone for like 20 seconds when Beach went to go fetch his bottle by the tier 2, so that's the only reason why he's ahead of experience at the moment.
He's also got more denies. I
Yeah.
mean, 2
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a huge amount, but I was actually paying attention to what creeps were denied. But obviously, if you deny the range creep, it means a lot more. So if it was the case where he's got, you know, a couple of denies on the range creep, then it's a big deal.
Yep, and the Arcane Rune sitting in the bottle there for good old Adastam. That's kind of dangerous on sitting on an SF when that Shadow Rays does a mountain of damage. It's 175 at the moment, as it is only level 2, but
Ooh. Is it
it
double
does
damage?
get incredibly dangerous.
Is it double damage sitting on Beach now
Okay,
as well?
so one of them is going right-click damage, and the other one's going for spell damage. The difference being, of course, that the infused raindrop is up and ready to rock and roll in the form of Adastam's inventory there. Beach Tech, are you going to make anything happen?
To
Nope.
be honest, at this early stage of the game, spell damage means a lot more than his right click at the moment, so I favor the Arcane Rune, to be honest.
Did he
Really?
pop that a little bit prematurely?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was a misclick, maybe. I'm not too sure.
That's
but,
tragic.
But Adastam does have those infused raindrops as well now, and that's something that Beach does not have. So this could fare horribly here for this.
And there is an
Beach Tech.
Arcane Rune sitting on
Oh, Beach
Adastam,
Tech.
so Beach Tech is going to have to be very, very careful of where he places himself. And now has to bottle himself all the way back up again.
Nope, he's going to be out of position. Oof.
Was
I
that a
would-
mistake from Adastam there?
No, I don't
I think he
so.
used the middle range when he should have opted to use the long range.
I'm not sure, but I mean, Beach Tech sitting that close to the high ground with a ward on Adastam's heel, it's not a good idea. But now he did bring himself a solve, 2 solves to be exact. What do you think about that? Do you think it's going to slow down his more important item progression, or do you think it's a safe move here?
I think you have to. I mean, this is a... You know, you can't leave the lane. The moment that your opponent's mirror-matched hero gets ahead of you, there's no way back. I mean, if you think about a traditional sort of 1v1 in a PUBG of Dota, both heroes have their strengths, and you effectively want to just get your opponent to play into your own. But in an environment like this, where your strength is exactly the same as your opponent's strength, you got to make sure you get as much out of the lane as possible. And effectively, when you hit like
Going
this
for the
actually could be pretty
second
good.
rune. Is he actually going to manage to pick up that second rune as well? Spotting it out will be Adastam, and he's going to say, "Bugger it, leave the bounty rune for Beach Tech," but that does mean that he's going to have to bottle crow that back. Be a bit of a pain in the
Beach Tech's going to try and be
gonads.
sneaky here. Oh,
No
wow.
ways.
He
Oh,
could do
he
this.
actually is going for it, and Adastam spotting himself in a little bit of trouble. Can't run away, can't get close, and Beach Tech takes his soul from under his nose. The first blood spilling the way of Beach Tech.
So the good news is that our friend Adastam is not out of trouble. Or he's not out of the game just yet because he does have high levels and raises. He can still get his souls back and whatnot. But the bad news, of course, is that Beach Tech has a huge advantage now with a lot more souls to work with. So he just hits harder. He's got more levels. It's gonna be hard to come back here.
Yep,
It does cap
definitely
out.
is.
Yeah, it does cap out, and I think Adastam needs to play on that advantage and just try and just reach his cap as well. And then that's kind of negated that particular advantage. I think the biggest problem is, of course, that Beach Tech is sitting a full 1,100 gold ahead of Adastam.
And the fact that he's got 30 souls up, but Adastam spamming out those raises to get his 30 souls up as well. Oof, they both opted not to level their ultis at level 6, and it makes a lot of sense in a 1v1 situation, to be honest. It's something that I would
HELLBIRD,
favor.
you want to explain why?
Well, you just have a lot more raw damage output
Yeah.
without it. I mean, the only one thing that one has to sort of give to the ultimate is, of course, that if you pick up an invis rune, it's basically a secured kill, which could be a big deal. So, I think that it's probably worthwhile, you know, almost like hanging onto a spell if you know the 2-minute rune is up pretty soon at this point, so you could sort of go and check it out. Like, at this point here, you pick up the
Beach
invis
Tech
rune,
better
and
be
you sort of
careful
go...
here.
Does have 10 stick charges. He's trying not to use them, clearly. And that should be the end of that. There's an illusion rune sitting in the bottom side of the river. Beach Tech's going to have to waddle his fat bottom back here. If you're not going to use the stick charges, I suppose it's a clutch item rather than something you use halfway through the laning phase.
it's it is that clutch item, but it also gives you nice stats in lane. I mean, it's a lot more sustainability. And Magic Stick is a legit item, especially in the first 4 to 5, 6 minutes of the game. It gives it huge advantage, and so does the Aquila. So I mean, Beach Tech's got a lot of stats to work with at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty interesting as well, since he's actually obviously the first blood makes a big difference, but I mean, if you look at the experience at the moment, it's not hugely different and whatnot. With the CS as well, you'd sort of expect that Adastam's actually not too far behind. I mean, this can still go either way, but it does look like Beach Tech is in a sort of more confident position. He just seems to be...
Item-wise, he definitely is, but Adastam does have more last hits to his name. But like you said, that first blood is really hurting him at the moment in terms of his item progression. Beach Tech gets a lot of extra gold for that, which gives him that ring. Which gives him that ring of Aquila, which gives him the magic stick and the Puemband shield, which gives him huge advantage in a lane at this stage of the game. Adastam walking all the way back, opting to block that creep wave. So we'll have to see what he does here. Beach Tech waiting patiently.
I mean, obviously the first one's probably the most important here, because you want to make sure that you protect your own shooter creep. Try to get that deny off. At this stage, I think this is just him trying to set up for the rune, which you can see both players do. But the big thing for Adastam at the moment is he's behind, and as long as they keep sort of exchanging just creep wave for creep wave, which they can do pretty easily, and he makes sure that something terrible doesn't happen where double damage Beach Tech walks up behind him, which is once again why he's making sure he can block as well as he can. He can try to get to the point where he can just out-push or out-play his opponent, and he probably feels confident that he can do so. But yeah, Beach Tech now can just bully him off the lane. Sort of behavior is exactly what he needs.
Yeah, and Adastam stuck between a rock and a hard place. Can't get too close to Beach Tech, obviously, with that double damage rune up and running, but perhaps the double damage rune used a little bit prematurely. I've said it before about Beach Tech, but I've been proven wrong. And do my eyes deceive me? Has Adastam opted to disappear to the jungle for a bit?
It seems so. I mean, trying to get that extra farm up there, and he can't really contest Beach Tech with the double damage rune, so I guess he's just going to grab himself a few creeps in the jungle there on the way to catching his courier.
I actually think that's pretty clever. Yeah, he gets a little bit more out of the deal, probably stuff he wouldn't have gotten. It's also quite a strong camp that he took down, so it's a lot of experience from him and whatnot.
But that might be the way back in, but that's two Shadow Razors landed on both. Beach Tech coming back and forth there. These guys are right at each other's heels. It could go down at any moment. Beach Tech dodging that Shadow Raze quite nicely. Adastam trying to make use of his Shadow Razors to get both the farm and the harassment damage. But take a look at his tower. It's slowly but surely melting under the pressure of Beach Tech, who's having a little dance by the looks of things.
He's feeling good about life. I mean, why not? You're in a fantastic position. You're 1-up at the moment. You have a lot more damage onto your opponent's tower. It's...
Yeah, I just feel like Adastam could have killed Beach Tech there, but obviously this being for Legion Commander Arcana sake, they're not willing to exactly take risks. But I feel like if he landed that one long raise there, he could have done something.
Well, there's the push mentality coming through, and Beach Tech getting a fair amount of damage still in onto this tower. Adastam's going to have to come up with some plan. If that tower does go down, he is going to lose this game, and with it, any hopes and chances of picking up that Arcana.
I think this is when you get that bottle, level your ulti. There we see the ulti has actually come out now. So you level your ulti here, and you just hope you get that Innovator's Rune and you just turn the tide on things.
He could also he could also smoke up potentially if he really needs to.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some options available. His biggest issue is just this tower. He's got to keep the damage off it.
Well, he's going for the first Shadow Raze, second one again, and now Adastam's dropping very low. There's the ulti! Beach Tech hits the deck, and he makes beautiful use of the higher ground, both in the forms of the vision and, of course, the missed chances to buy himself that extra second of time to pop off the Requiem of Souls and buy himself a way back into this game and back into the book for the Legion Arcana.
Yeah,
I really want to know what the vision looked like from the perspective of Beach Tech there, because if I
Couldn't
think
see him.
that was played better than
I
one
did
might
check.
imagine with this like giant vision, is I think he may have not expected that the ulti was actually up on his opponent, and then he just couldn't see him from him.
Guys,
The
this could be
creep wave was
GG
clear.
here.
Yeah,
could
actually,
be.
4 seconds.
Beach Tech
There
needs to
should
come
be a
back and-
fortification. There's no fortification.
No, he
Yep.
just used it. I think this
Yeah.
is
Could it
GG,
be?
boys.
Is Adastam going to win
Yep.
this on a tower push? He is! And he manages to walk away from what was a valiant performance from Beach Tech. What a show, I gotta say.
Whew, that was close, man.
That was very,
you gotta
very
feel
close.
bad for Beach Tech. Like,
He did exceptionally well this game. I mean, in all 3 games he did so well.
Look at
such
that
a good
SF.
spot, and then, yeah, I mean that I think shows the story. But man, he impressed. I think I don't think I expected him to perform as well as he did across the series. I think that Adastam's also a very well-known player. He's quite a monster. I've sort against Adastam. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So, I tip my hat to you, man. He did a lot better than I did.
Absolutely.
Oh well, those magic stick charges, 17 of them to be exact, really helped Adastam to secure that last kill. So I must say, like, this has been a very interesting series and a lot of unexpected losses and wins in this tournament. So yeah, I would love to pull another one off sometime soon. Devin, any more
Nope.
corners?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna hang on to mine for a little while longer. But yeah, congratulations to Adastam. He's
Yep. Adastam, the
hope it serves
proud
him well.
winner. The proud winner of the Legion Commander Arcana, sponsored by HELLBIRD. And, of course, Beach Tech ZA, the proud winner of certainly my heart, as he has had one hell of a performance. He did give us one hell of a show. We're going to have to wave goodbye to him. And all applause and the honorable laurels onto Adastam, as I'm pretty sure he's used to by now. He could share the glory a little bit from time to time.
Well, I must say, everyone that made it to the finals already got a set. They all played for a different set, and then if they got to the finals, they would play for the Arcana. So they all got something out of the tournament at least. But I must say, hats off to Beach Tech. You did exceptionally well, and you wrecked some people that we didn't expect you to wreck, and you did pretty damn well in this 1v1 against, Masters, 3rd in South Africa team player Adastam. So well bloody done, dude. Well done.
So, in short, guys, keep your eyes peeled on Succubus's Facebook page, or mine, Wilson XXXL, or of
Hellbird.
course HELLBIRD. And do keep your eyes peeled there. We will be running another one of these sometime in the near future, and you could be the next guy to give us one hell of a show and maybe take the big boys down, as Beach Tech came so very close to doing this time round. From myself, Wilson, Succubus, and HELLBIRD, we wish you the very best of evenings. Good night and farewell.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Did you have